How's it going, everybody? This is Darrin with GuitarControl.com bringing this video lesson, and today I want to show you how to play Hard Day's Night by the Beatles. So right now Guitar Control is giving away this really cool free chord chart. There's a link down in the description where you can get yours. It has every chord you could ever need all neatly compiled onto one sheet, and it's in PDF format, so you can download it, you can print it off, you can put a copy in your gig bag, put a copy where you practice. So just whatever situation you're in, you can have any chord you need at a glance, and it's a free download. So be sure to click on the link in the description through the tabs, and let's get close up and take a look at this. Alright, so first off, there's multiple things that are kind of going on in this song. Anyway, this starts off, we've got this first chord here. There's a really interesting sounding chord. It's a G7 suspended 4. So it's a bar chord, unfortunately. So this, if you're a beginner, this may be the hardest part of the song. But you could really omit this and it isn't going to make that big of a difference. So we're going to start off, we're just going to bar all the way across at the 3rd fret across to all the strings. Then we're going to take our 3rd finger, we're going to put it here on the 5th fret of the A string. So right now it looks like we're playing a G minor 7. But then we're going to take our pinky and we're going to put it down on the 5th fret of the G string. So now it's 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 3. So we hit that, it's 1, 2, 3, and then we rest on 4, and then it just starts on G. So if you are a beginner and this is like really tough to do that, like I said, you could totally start off with it's a hard day's night. You don't have to do that at the beginning of it. Okay, so then from there it's pretty simple for the most part. This song also has a really easy solo that we're going to go over as well. Okay, so we've got, for this first part here, we've got the chords G and then C add 9. So if you just take your regular old G chord here and you move your 1st and your 2nd finger up a string each. So now my 1st finger is on the 2nd fret of the D string and my 2nd finger is on the 3rd fret of the A string. And we don't play the low E string. That's C add 9. And then we've got an F over C, and this is just a me kind of a preference. So you could play a full-on F bar chord like this if that's comfortable for you and you like that, or you can do the really basic F chord shape that you probably already know. How I like to do it is I like F over C, so it's the regular F, but I just have the C in the bass here. So that's 3rd fret of the A string, 3rd fret of the D string, but 3rd finger, 4th finger, and then my 2nd finger is on the 2nd fret of the G string, and 1st finger is barring the 1st and 2nd string. Then we also have a regular C major chord, a D major chord, and then that's all the chords that covers for this first part of the song. Alright, so we start off with the G major. On here, it's broke down pretty simple for the most part. It's quarter notes and 8th notes. So this is like 1, 2, and then on the downbeat of 3, it goes to C add 9. But you don't need to really break it up, You can, just, you can kind of just feel it. Once you get to where you can just kind of feel it and wing your own rhythms, it's so much easier to play and sounds lots better too. Alright, so that's on G, down, down, up, and we switch to a C add 9, down, up, down, and then to a G on an up if you wanted to do it that way. So it would be like 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and... So it's kind of weird that G's coming in on the and of 4, and then it's tied to 1 on the next measure. So you got that 8th note on the and of 4 plus a whole beat of a quarter note for beat number 1, and then 2, 3, 4, and. So that's like. It's been a hard day's night. Okay, then we switch to the F, whatever version of it you're going to do. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and or down, 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 up, down, up. So. Then to a G, and it's 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. It's like 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and then that also carries over onto the next measure, 1, 2 and. So it's a lot easier, like I said, if you just kind of feel this. So it's been a hard day's night. Now we're back to C add 9 again. Back to F, G, and then this is when I get home to you. That's the next change. Then we go to a C. So this is where the strumming kind of changes. And this is kind of weird to count because it's a quarter note, then an eighth, then a quarter, then 3/8. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. So how I think of it is just like down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. That's when I get home to you, blah, blah, to D. And when we go to this D, it's the same thing, the same strum. And then we go to a G, 1, 2, and 3, to a C add 9, and 4, and then on the and 4 back to G. So, all right. So if you're looking on your transcription, we're on the first staff of the second page. So if you look back at the very beginning, starting on the second measure, it has the beginning of the repeat. So it's the double bar with the colon. And now if we look here, we've got the colon and a double bar. So that's the end of the repeat. So it means we're going to go back to the second measure and play forward again. But the second time we do it, where it has there's that bracket above that third measure there that has the bracket and it has the number 1. That means it's the first ending. So the second time you play through it, you'll skip that measure and go right on to measure 14. Because you can see above it, it has the bracket with the number 2. Basic difference is when we get to this end, it goes right into another verse. But the second time around, it'll be it's going to be 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and then on the and to 4, we switch to a B minor. So this is the what I'm going to call the bridge section. This is the part that Paul McCartney sings. And like a lot of Beatles fashion, they completely change the feel of the song when he sings it versus when John Lennon sings it. They'll like switch from major chords to minor chords just to have that contrast, which I think is really cool. So B minor. So bar chord, unfortunately. So if you're a beginner, this might be kind of tough, but just do the best you can. So we're going to bar our first finger across the first 5 strings of the second fret. And then my second finger is here on the 3rd fret of the B string. My 3rd finger is on the 4th fret of the D string, and my pinky's on the 4th fret of the G string. Okay, so we're hitting that on the and of 4. And then it's tied to all of beat 1 on that next measure. So it's like and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and on the end of 4 we're going to switch to an E minor. When I'm gone, so it goes back into that same strum that we were doing on the C and D on the John Lennon part. So with the B minor, when I'm gone, to an E minor. And then on the and of 4 of that measure, back to B minor again, and now it's going to go into that strum that we did on the D and C on the John Lennon part. So when I'm gone, G, same strum still, down, up, to an E minor, and then we're going to go to a C7. So if you just take your regular C major chord and you take your pinky and you put it down onto, so it's on the 3rd fret of the G string, that's C7. So we got same strum to a D major, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. All right, so the whole bridge section. Then it just goes back into the same, repeats those parts again. So it's easy to put the song together when you have these two sections. All right, so now let's take a look at the guitar solo. All right, so this guitar solo is actually really easy. It's just one little riff that's repeated twice. So we're going to start off here on the 3rd fret of the low E string, and you want to use your 3rd finger. So we hit this, it's a dotted quarter note, so it means it's going to get all of beat 1 plus the downbeat of 2, and then we hit it again on the and of 2. So 1, 2, and then on the downbeat of 3, we're going to go to the 1st fret of the A string, 3, on the and of 3 to the 3rd fret, downbeat of 4 back to the 1st fret, and then on the and of 4 back to 3, and slide to the 5th fret. So. All right, so that's the riff is, or lick, or whatever you want to call it, is 2 measures long, and it's repeated. So once we go through these 2 measures, or excuse me, these 4 measures here, you just repeat the whole sequence. So that's the first 2. Now, when we slide up to that 5, we're doing it from the and to 4, and then it is tied to that whole measure. So it's like 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so then the second half of this riff, we're going to keep our 3rd finger here. We've got it on the 5th fret of the A string. We're going to take our 1st finger, we're going to bring it back here, and we're going to bar. So we're picking up the 3rd fret of the A string and the D string. And then we're going to pick, starting on the A string, pick 3, hammer to 5. And then we're going to follow that with the 3rd fret on the D string. So how I'm doing this is I pick down, pick, hammer, and then an upstroke on the D string. So it just repeats. You do that 1, 2, 3, 4. So you do it 4 times. Then you're gonna your 3rd finger here is on the 5th fret. You're gonna pick and slide to the 3rd fret, but you're gonna want to do both of your fingers together. So your 1st finger is coming down here to the 1st fret. And the reason is because we're gonna pull that off. So we're gonna pick 5, slide to 3, pull to 1, and then end on the 3rd fret of the low E string, and that's measure 4, and it's a whole note. So. Alright, so there you have it, a fun, not too difficult rendition of Hard Day's Night by the Beatles. So if you like this lesson, be sure to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you have any questions about this or other guitar-related topics. If you've not already done so, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content we upload throughout the week. Well, that is all I have for you today. Thanks for watching and have a great day.